Positivity improves your skill set. Positivity allows you to live longer, and positivity can actually help to boost your immune system. The way that you choose to think about things determines the way that you feel, and the way that you feel determines the type of actions that you take every day of your life. By choosing to not find the good in any situation, you are missing out on hidden opportunities as well as overall joy in your life. And today, we're going to talk about how to develop a more positive and optimistic attitude, which will make your personality more magnetic. Let's get right into it. I'm Brandon Eastman with Be Better Industries, and on this YouTube channel we talk about peak performance, mindset, as well as my own personal strategies that have led to positive change in my own life. So if you're into those things, hit the subscribe button below and be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified of all future videos every single Monday. And hit the like button too if you're into positivity, because YouTube's algorithm will send it to more people if you hit that like button. At this point in my life, I'm able to maintain a positive attitude. But I remember in my early 20s that was not the case. I used to blame other people. I had very little patience when it came to other people. And I had no idea with what I wanted to do with my life. And then came a day where I had a friend hand me a book, and the book was called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And if you're looking to change your attitude, if you're looking to think more positively and become more magnetic and have an overall better mindset, then I highly recommend that you pick up this book by Rhonda Byrne, because The Secret completely changed the way that I think about life. The overall theme in The Secret is thoughts become things. Whatever you think about, most of the time expands and takes up more mental space in your mental factory. What that means in layman's terms is what you think about, you attract into your life. If you think about lack, you'll bring more lack. If you think about negativity, you'll bring negativity. If you gossip about other people, you'll bring people gossiping about you. And if you have overall unhappy thoughts, then you will create more unhappy thoughts. It's called a feedback loop. Whatever kind of feedback you're giving to yourself, it continuously loops over and over and over because your brain is in a pattern of thinking. So I read this book called The Secret, and the first few chapters I was thinking to myself, wow, this is some really cheesy stuff. But as it got further and further into the book, it gave real life examples of how this has helped other people. So I thought to myself, why not just try this? If it's helped other people, then why not try to apply it to my life? Every single day I went throughout my life repeating to myself over and over, thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. And what that did was it forced me to consciously think about what I wanted in my mental space. I thought about things that I wanted. I wrote down goals for myself. I wrote down who I wanted to become. And I thought about those things all day long, and I looked at them every single morning. And what you think about most of the time, you tend to become. If you think about positive thoughts and happiness and good friends and what you want to do for other people and who you want to become and the things that you want in life, then you will attract those things into your life. I can't really explain to you why it works that way. All I can say is it does work. Because after a few months of applying these principles, my goals started to come true. I moved up in the company I was with. I started to earn more money. I started to develop new hobbies in my life. I started to develop and attract new friends. I became a more magnetic individual. And what that means is, if you're magnetic, you exude energy. When you're around other people, you charge their batteries. Other people feel good once they leave your presence because you become magnetic. We actually emit energy from our bodies. It's scientific. You can look this stuff up. And by positively thinking most of the time, you emit more positive energy and more positive vibes. The first tip that I have for you that will help you to become more positive and more magnetic is defining exactly who you want to be. I want you to be the architect of your life. I want you to sit down with a journal or a piece of paper, and I want you to write down exactly the way that you want your life to look like. I want you to write down how it looks like right now. I want you to write down how you want it to look like 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I want you to go as far into the future as you could possibly fathom, because knowing where you're headed changes what you think about. When you know what you want, you start to think about things that will bring you closer to the end result. That's how it works, okay? It's called the law of attraction. And I'll talk about what the law of attraction is in more detail in a separate video, but the law of attraction generally says what what you think about most, you bring situations and opportunities that will help you get there into your life. By knowing what you want, you just start to magically drift towards those things versus drifting around endlessly, not having an end result. It's like setting your GPS in a foreign area to get to where you want to go. If you set the GPS correctly, will it bring you to where you want to be? Of course, you just have to follow the directions. But if you don't set the GPS, you're going to endlessly wander, not ever getting to where you want to go. And if you do, it'll take you a lot longer than if you just set the GPS at the beginning. So set the GPS of your life. What do you want to feel like on a daily basis? What kind of character traits do you want to embody? What are your financial goals? What kind of experiences do you want to enjoy in your life? What places do you want to go? What places do you want to see? What friends do you want to have in your life? How do you want to contribute? Define exactly what your life looks like. Because once you define how it looks, it will make you a more magnetic individual. And I recommend doing this every month or two, maybe even every week if you want to take this to the next level. I made a video all about creating and designing your life. It's an entire goal-setting workshop, and I'll put the link to that video right down here in the description so you can go check it out. The number one thing that I notice with friends of mine or colleagues or the people that I work with, when they're unhappy, it's usually because they have nothing that they're working towards. It usually means they've recently achieved a goal and they failed to set a new one. And when you achieve something and you don't decide exactly and immediately after what you want next, then you just start to drift. And when you start to drift, not making progress towards anything, that's when you become unfulfilled. So if you've achieved your goals, it's time to set new ones. And if you haven't set goals, that is the very first step and the first tip that I want to give you. Knowing what you want will cause you to become more magnetic. It will cause you to achieve what you want in your life. The second tip to living a more positive and magnetic life is to reframe negative situations in your life. I want you to think about the worst thing that has ever happened to you. Think about the most painful experience that you've ever had in your life. And I can promise you this, that negative experience has helped to shape and mold you into who you are today. If you didn't go throughout that pain, you might not be the person that you are now. You might not have done the things that you've done now because of that pain that has driven you. Reframing is taking any situation and finding the good in it. It's finding the shining light. As an example, if I look back into my life at the most painful experiences, it was when I was 80 pounds heavier than I am now. I used to be 260 pounds and I was overweight, I was unhappy, I didn't feel good. And throughout the process of getting to the weight that I wanted to be at and the health that I wanted to embody, I learned so many valuable skills and mindsets and lessons that I've been able to give to other people and help other people with. If I never had been overweight, I never would have been able to help those people that I've helped. Or I look at the situation where I was $20,000 in credit card debt. If I never had gotten myself out of that situation, I wouldn't have been able to help other people get out of credit card debt themselves. I wouldn't have been able to talk about financial goals with other people. If I had never had negativity into my life and have always been positive, how could I make this video for you? Every negative situation has a reason behind it. And we define the reason. We define the meaning. So my recommendation to you is look at any negative experience, whether it was a boyfriend or girlfriend breaking up with you, maybe them leaving you or you leaving them, set you up for a more positive experience down the line. I always recommend the people that I work with to ask themselves the question, what does this mean? And if they still get a negative meaning from that question, then continue to ask, what else could this mean? Because anything that happens to us or anything that happens for us is actually setting us up for a positive outcome in the end. And the more that you believe that, the more that you'll be able to take control of your life and think in a positive way that serves you versus wallowing in negativity that brings you down. So the second step, and my second tip for you to become more positive, is reframing any negative situation to serve you. And the third tip that I have for you to become more positive and magnetic, and this one could be the most important one of all, is find positive friends. Find positive people to spend time with. Find positive environments to spend your time in. Because I want you to think about your circle of friends in your life right now. Think about your friends and ask yourself the question, are my friends more positive or are they more negative? Do I feel better after spending time with them than before I started spending time with them? Do I feel better afterwards than I did before? And if the answer is no, then it's time to immediately cut that friend out of your life. You see, your vibe attracts your tribe. The people that you spend time with, you begin to become more like those people. Jim Rohn had a quote that said, "You are the average of the 3 people that you spend the most time with." Look at the 3 people in your life, just like we just did, and ask yourself, are they conducive to my future success? And I'm not saying to leech off your friends. I'm not saying they have to help you to achieve your goals. But when you find great friends and great environments to be in, those things just happen naturally. I remember I had a friend in my life who I've known since I was very, very young. We went to school together, we graduated together, and I was spending time with that friend while I was progressing in my life. And what you'll find is you'll begin to outgrow certain friends. You'll begin to continue progressing and continue achieving and reaching the goals that you want, and you'll continue to upgrade your life, and your friend will stay just right where they were at the very beginning, okay? And they'll say the things that they've always said, they'll do the things that they've always done. Do you know the definition of doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result? Insanity is the definition. And I would spend time with this friend and I would notice that they weren't making any improvements. They just kept saying the same things and they talked a big game and they weren't doing it. And after the time I spent with them, I left their company and I just felt drained. I felt negative. I felt short with the people that I loved in my life after I spent time with this negative friend. So I asked myself, what do I need to do to cut this friend out of my life? And while this might sound harsh, this could be the most important thing that you do to upgrade your life, is to find new friends that are more alike with what you're looking to do in your life, that are more charging your battery than draining your battery. And I sent a text and I talked to that friend over the phone and I said, hey, this just isn't working. We're not going to be able to continue hanging out because we have no common interests. I actually feel drained when I leave your company. And that was not an easy conversation. It was one of the hardest conversations I've had in my life. But after not spending time with that individual anymore, my progress just started to triple and quadruple and go faster and faster. The point of what I'm saying is find friends that are around you that will support you. Find friends that make you feel good. Find friends that you can help and they will help you back. It's not about what they'll do for you, but it's about how you feel once you leave their company. If you're asking yourself, how do I find more friends like that? Well, successful people and people who are looking to grow can be found in organizations. They can be found at local clubs. You can join a local Toastmasters club, or you can join a local Rotary club, or you can go on meetup.com and you can find groups of people who have like interests to you. Find people who like things similar to you so you can help each other progress and so you can help each other grow. But be sure to take an inventory of the people that you spend the most time around and determine if they're conducive to what it is you're looking to do in your life. Developing a more positive and magnetic attitude has created so many great changes in my life and has helped to bring me to where I am now. It's helped me lose the weight that I've lost. It's helped me to get my financial situation in check. It's helped me to bring new friends into my life. Everything has been improved in these last 5 years since I started to consciously think about what serves me, when I started to consciously think positively versus negatively. And if you want more tips on thinking positively, go to the description below, hit the first link. That's a link to my book called Be Extraordinary, Your Guide to Self-Mastery. And the very first chapter is called Emotional Mastery, where I talk all about positive thinking and I give you more tips so that you can include it into your life. So click the link, enter your email, and I'll send you a free ebook copy of Be Extraordinary, Your Guide to Self-Mastery. And if you like this video, hit the like button if you got value from it. That'll give it to more people so that they can take value from it as well. And I want to know, go in the comments and let me know, where do you think you are on the path to positive thinking? Where do you think you are right now in terms of your overall happiness? Maybe put in the comments, what things do you do in order to maintain a positive and conducive attitude? And subscribe to the channel so you can see all future videos. And until next time, be better.